You're listening to the Membership Geeks podcast, bringing you proven practical tips and advice from the leading experts on growing a successful membership business.
Well, hello there, membershipper. You are listening to the Membership Geeks podcast. I'm your host, Mike Morrison, Chief Geek and founder of Membership Geeks and Membership Academy. And this is your source of proven tips and solid gold advice on how to launch and scale a successful membership that will go the distance and make you proud. And if you are new to the show, well done. Congratulations. You have found it. You have found the number one resource for membership owners with over 400 episodes. Yeah, that's right. We've been doing this for a decade now, and we have been coming with massive value and all the latest tips, insights, and advice into what works in the wonderful world of memberships. If you have a moment, I would encourage you to hit the subscribe button in your podcast app to ensure that just as Aerosmith wanted, you aren't going to miss a thing. I promise that's maybe the last time you'll hear that joke. If you're a long-term listener, you'll know that you've probably heard that joke a good dozen times or so, but hopefully it's worth it. Hopefully you know that this is the place to be for membership owners. If you have a moment that you could spare, just a minute or two, I would so appreciate it if you could leave a nice review, a few kind words about how the show has helped you and your membership business. Not only does that let me know I'm doing my job right, it also helps us to reach more people, help more memberships. And I am on a mission over the next 12 months to help 10,000 memberships get started. And you are such a big part of that. Thank you so much for all of your support. I read every review. I read every word. It means so much, and it helps us to continue to serve the membership industry. All right, so today I'm joined by a very special guest, Sophie Cross. She is the founder and editor of Freelancer magazine, which is a fantastic magazine here in the UK. It's a print magazine with digital options and all that good stuff, but it is such a high quality print magazine for freelance creatives, web designers, graphic designers, copywriters, marketers, virtual assistants, all those wonderful people who are running freelance businesses. Many of you will be listening to the show. And I was aware of the magazine. I'd come across it. They sponsored the Atomicon conference run by my good friends Andrew and Pete. I've spoken at that event a number of times over the years, and Freelancer magazine sponsored that conference last year and this year, I believe. And so it's one of these things that I just kind of figured has been around forever. I would have sworn that I'd seen it on the supermarket shelves when I was doing in my freelance career, early in my career back in kind of 2008, 2009. I would have sworn blind that I'd seen this magazine on the shelves. That's how good quality it is. That's how strong the brand is. But I didn't realize that there was more to it than a magazine. And both myself and Sophie, the founder and editor, were speaking at a recent event in Leeds called Connect Up. And I like to go to the full event that I speak at. I like to dip in and watch other speakers' sessions. And the first one I saw was Sophie talking about her journey with Freelancer magazine. And I was quite surprised to find out that actually, yes, there's a traditional print magazine, but it's backed by an online membership business. And this isn't just some afterthought, some little added on online element that so many magazines have, where you log in and pretty much the only thing there are maybe some back issues, a couple of outdated freebies, and that's it. This is a proper, fully fledged online membership community. And so straight after her talk, I made a beeline for Sophie, told her I had to get her on the show, and she graciously agreed. And so we are going to talk about their hybrid membership model, how they make it work with something so traditional as magazine publishing, working in tandem with an online membership model. How is she actually making this hybrid work? What lessons are being learned along the way? How does it change the strategy? So I got to really dig deep into what is quite an unusual membership model. I enjoyed geeking out about it. Hopefully you'll enjoy it too, and hopefully you'll pick up some great insights and little pearls of wisdom from our conversation. So without any further ado, I'm going to jump into my discussion with Sophie Cross from Freelancer magazine. Here we go. Okay, so today I'm joined by Sophie Cross. Sophie is the editor and publisher of Freelancer magazine, a quarterly print-first magazine and membership for marketing, creative, and B2B freelancers that is now in its 5th year and approaching issue 20. Now, I've been aware of Freelancer magazine for a while. I think initially from your involvement with Atomicon, which I've spoken at before. Love the magazine itself, fantastic content, such great quality. But Sophie, when I saw you interviewed at Connect Up a few weeks ago, and I learned about the online membership side of things, I just lit up and I knew I had to have you on the show. So thanks very much for coming onto the Membership Geeks podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
So let's talk about that combination of such a high quality, I suppose you call it the hero product, a high quality traditional print media magazine with an online membership model. That combination's a pretty unique one. And anytime I've seen that done before, the online side has always kind of been a bit of an afterthought. It's almost something they tag on there to say that their magazine is online, but it's not really fleshed out as something which has a huge degree of value in and of itself. But with Freelancer magazine, it's clear that's not the case. The online membership is substantial. It's a thriving community. Can you break down, first of all, what does someone actually get when they subscribe to Freelancer magazine and also become part of that online membership side of things?
Yeah, of course. So there's 2 price points really, which is either you choose print or digital, or you choose print and digital. But other than that, everybody gets the same thing. So you get the magazine, you get entry into the online Find a Freelancer directory, and then we also are making a print directory once a year. And there's virtual co-working 3 times a week. So that's 3 times a week every week, 3 mornings a week, which is we have a team of volunteer hosts which help me kind of run that. And you also get, we're doing additional things like we have a monthly lunchtime live, so webinars that are exclusive to members as well with experts in the freelance community. So yeah, we've got one with Jess Bruno coming up, and Joe McKay, and we've just done one with Lucy Werner on PR. So yeah, they're nice little exclusive webinars that the members get every month. And I always say I'm not going to add anything else. And I always kind of end up adding new things for members, but that's kind of our core offering is magazine, directory, co-working.
And so was that the model you started out with from day one with the magazine?
Absolutely not. So it started, this membership has come through evolution, and I think that's why it looks so strong now, is because these elements exist because people want them, and we've tested loads of different things. Really, we just started with a magazine, and I dipped my toe in with in-person events, probably because that's what I wanted to do. Like I'm a bit of a sucker for wanting to put on a party or organize an event, and that's not out of the question anymore. But I think because our members, we're really UK focused now. We do have members all over the world, but we've become more UK focused. It's not possible to kind of put an event on in person that is accessible for lots of everyone around the UK or around the world to get to. So, and it's just so resource intensive. Not even so much from an organizational perspective, but more from a marketing perspective and trying to sell tickets or trying to get people there. And so virtual just seemed to make more sense. It's really accessible to people. So we started doing some virtual co-working, and it just took off really. It's really popular. We probably get about between 15 and 30 people there every morning. And when we started getting volunteer hosts as well, that started running itself, and that's just like a really nice offering. And some people come to the membership just because of that, really. The magazine's a nice add-on. Of course, for some people the magazine is the main thing, and they never come to virtual co-working, as much as I try to convince people to come. And then, the directory we launched this year, which was, I guess, a bit of a no-brainer. We knew, especially in this kind of climate, that, the number one way we could help our members was to help them get work. And that's not just from, collaboration and knowledge and meeting each other and all the things that the magazine offers, but actually by creating this directory. And, it's something that we intend to grow year on year and hope that it becomes a bit of a go-to place for people, which obviously isn't going to happen instantly, but actually, to become a go-to place for people to find creative and marketing freelancers that, they want to build long-lasting relationships with. They're not kind of going to Fiverr and just looking for someone to make them a cheap logo, which I know isn't all that Fiverr does, but
still, yeah.
Other freelance third-party networks are available.
Of course. It's interesting because obviously, like I've referred to Freelancer magazine, the magazine itself, as the hero product. Do you see it that way now with how strong the online community's been, with the directory satisfying a very clear, strong need within your audience? Or do you just see it more as a collective thing that you offer now?
That's really interesting. I guess because the name of the brand is Freelancer magazine.
Yeah.
And I suppose, it will always kind of be first and foremost in what we do. And, I've always tried, even though we do lots of things, I've always kind of been like, first and foremost, we want to make a good magazine. We want to do that really well. And we don't really want to take the focus off that. I suppose what it feels like to me is just different ways of connecting people, and the magazine and everything has evolved to get the community involved more. So, we make sure that we feature lots of members of the community. We have way more contributors in the magazine from the community. As virtual co-working has become more frequent, and we've got this team of, I think it's about 20 hosts. It just feels really collaborative. It feels really community focused, and not in a way that we all get together in real life, or we actually don't have a Slack group or a Facebook group or a circle group. And that's intentional in a way, because I think other communities do that and do that really well. There's the Being Freelance community that, we have a lot of crossover with members. But it was something that I didn't, and from a resource perspective, couldn't kind of put into supporting that and doing everything else well. So I think, the magazine still is the hero product, but it is all about the kind of getting the community connected in different ways. And the directory's been a really nice way to do that too. I think actually there's people in the community using other freelancers in the community, and it's just kind of nice to see who's about and what they do and who you might be able to collaborate with and who you might be able to refer people to. So we are getting it out to agencies and publishers and business events. And, our priority, we haven't actually sent it out to members because our priority was getting the print version in front of people that use freelancers, and we have the online version. But I think it's been a really nice way to connect members as well.
Yeah, and just the level of differentiation from knowing that their relationship and their connection to Freelancer magazine doesn't end when they've turned the last page of the magazine. There's still this entire ecosystem, this entire community that they are part of. That's the flagship of. I love that idea. So obviously, with you saying that it didn't start out as having the online side of things initially, have you found that bringing that in has affected retention of magazine subscribers, either compared to a period before you had the membership or just compared to industry averages? Like, has that online element moved the needle in terms of subscriber retention?
I think it's definitely moved the needle in terms of new members. Churn and retention is a bit of a tricky thing for us compared to the industry. And I don't actually pay too much attention to it, and only because the number one reason we get for people leaving the membership is that they're not freelancing anymore.
Okay.
So I can't do much about that.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's like, no, stay.
yeah. Or, we obviously have loads of members that have been freelancing for years and years and years. But I think for other people, they are curious to about to take the leap, or they do, and then they go back into employment and then sometimes come back to freelancing or yo-yo between the two. But that is kind of our main reason that people leave. And I guess there is an element of, I don't know, it's just not right for people at a certain time. And I would never kind of, we make something at the best we can. And if it's right for people, then absolutely, we want them to join us. And we think it probably will be right for you. And it's a good investment in your freelance business as well, in terms of, don't forget to expense it. Like in terms of, getting ideas for your business, growing your business, building the business, that doesn't have to mean making it bigger, but, setting more boundaries and getting better clients and charging more and just getting that confidence boost. And I think virtual co-working as well is really good for it. It's really, people are surprised how productive they are working in silence with other people with their cameras on. But I think it's really nice at the beginning as well that, there's people going, oh, I've got to chase an invoice today, or I've got to, I've got another round of amends from a client. And it's just lovely to have that, oh, it's not just me kind of moment. So, yeah, I think they're really, they're as important as working out, how to do your onboarding process and things like that.
Definitely. And, it is that thing of, you can't really convince someone to abandon a job offer they've maybe received just so they can stay in your community. But the fact that
but they probably should.
Yeah. The fact that you're able to identify that actually the main cause of cancellations is something that is completely out of your control, and then set your priorities based on that. I think sometimes when you don't have that data, if you're just not asking the question, you could be expending so much resource towards trying to solve churn, when actually it's nothing to do with you, nothing to do with your product, nothing to do with anything you're producing. It's just where they are in their life and in their journey. And I think that just underpins the importance of knowing your numbers and knowing reasons people might be leaving. Yeah,
I think I'm a bit of a believer in just thinking carefully about things, because I think it's really easy to kind of say, oh, well, you've got a membership or you've got a magazine, you've got a publication, so like you really have to prioritize churn, and being on top of that, and then thinking about the reasons, finding out the reasons that people are leaving, and questioning whether that is a priority for your business just because the publishing industry says that's a priority. And for us, I don't believe that is a priority at the moment. I think our resources are spent in better ways. But I think because we're, relatively small, we're an indie publication, we've got about 1,000 paid subscribers, 5,000 people in the community on the newsletter, that we can afford, I personally email people and say, is there anything we can do? And if it's just down to cash flow, I'll give people a complimentary digital copy of the magazine that month, because I don't want people struggling financially and then also not getting the resource. So, that we have, I have that kind of one-to-one feedback from people as well, which is really, really nice, which I guess when you get to a bigger size, you kind of have to be going, oh, our churn's 1.4% or 5.6%. And that's, that's not of interest to me, really.
Yeah, and I think people perhaps rush too much to depersonalize that follow-up with people who might be cancelling or might needing to leave. And certainly value in having systems in place and processes so that it's not all on you all of the time. But even with a member base of 1,000 subscribers, you can still just send that email, that little
for sure. And of course, not everyone replies. We'll go out to people every quarter that have cancelled, and I'm not checking up on people, but RBA might send the email out and she'll come back to me and say things, or, you know, I have probably conversations with, you know, on LinkedIn DMs or on email with 10 or 20 people in the community, maybe some, you know, most days. So you get a sense of what's going on, and people are kind of quite open with what's happening. And yeah, and I will message people and say, oh, sorry, I saw your orders failed. You know, did you have a problem with the website? Just to get a sense of what's going on. I think there's been periods in the business where I've stepped back from that.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's really helpful to do too, when it's, you know, when it is largely you running something. It's really nice to be able to, you know, maybe your personal life gets in the way, that you have got people that you're outsourcing to and that you can rely on. But I think it's really important for me to be close to the business as well, you know, if I can be.
Definitely. And I don't think people expect that these days. And it's probably, it's an indictment of how most companies are, that an email from an actual human, someone in as visible and prominent a role within the company, the founder of the company, directly emailing you stands out. And at least makes them seem like, know that they are seen. Even if you can't change things, at least showing them that, you know, their membership was valued.
Yeah, and there's a really nice example of that actually recently, where on our online directory got scraped because we've actually taken off the direct links to people's emails now, because there's not really anything you can do about people picking up those email addresses. Yeah. And, you know, lots of people got a kind of fake inquiry. And I decided to go out and email the whole database and kind of say, you know, it was quite a nice opportunity as well to kind of remind people to be vigilant and do some, you know, put some things in place in terms of checking whether clients are genuine or not. And just saying, sorry, you know, that this has happened, but, you know, please be wary, and we're looking at what we can do about it. And we've got so many responses from that, just to say, you know, absolutely, like, this isn't your fault and don't worry about it, but actually this just really shows that, you know, you care about the members and everything like that. So that was really nice. And I think it's just was a reminder, because I probably sat on it for a couple of days going, oh, I'm not really sure what to do about this. And, you know, it niggles at you. And it's because you're not quite sure what action is the best to take. And, you know, like, we did go down the cease and desist route and things like that as well. And, you know, have ended up taking off email addresses, because I just thought, actually, to click through to someone's website or social media, I didn't want to put those barriers in place. But actually now I'm thinking it's going to generate more quality inquiries if people have to check out someone's website first. But yeah, I kind of then send that email saying, look, I'm sorry this has happened, and, you know, just be wary. And yeah, it was just a reminder that was kind of always the best thing to do, is just to be open and yeah.
No, absolutely. And I'm curious, obviously, in talking about how the audience and subscriber base are predominantly UK based, are you kind of looking at the existence of the online element and the ability to reach people without those kind of physical barriers? Do you see that as something which is going to be a key part in maybe expanding outside of the UK? Is that not a focal point? Where's the thinking on possibilities that the online aspect opens up?
So it's actually kind of been the opposite.
Okay.
So I think in our first year, and actually when we launched via Kickstarter, we had people in like 25 countries buying the magazine, and that felt like a real achievement. You know, it was really cool. But I feel like if there was one thing I was to change about the business, I felt like I went niche enough, but I don't think I did. And as much as, like, we still ship to all countries worldwide, you know, we have the digital version that will be delivered to your inbox immediately. We do have readers in lots of different countries. And I think the content is 95% if not more, kind of relevant worldwide. We don't really focus on UK specific content, I suppose, because a lot of our, not all, but a lot of our contributors and the people we feature, our writers are UK based. There will be that leaning towards what's relevant to this in this market. But I suppose so many people are working with clients worldwide now as well, that it doesn't necessarily matter what country you're based in. But yeah, we pulled it back really to focus on the UK. So things like the virtual co-working, we did try doing it at a 4:00 slot, for other time zones, and it just didn't really work. And yeah, I felt that we needed to niche more really. So I think even the first issue was like, oh well, plumbers are freelancers, we'll feature a plumber. And we're going down lots of different routes to try and cover all freelancers. And now we really are focused on the kind of creative marketing and B2B freelancers. So yeah, we welcome people from all over the world, absolutely, but we're trying to be kind of UK focused in terms of like the time zones that we run things and things like that. And we still get people that are like, it's like 9:30 in the morning. I'm going to get the time zones wrong now, but they're like, because we sort of do the what's your name, where'd you come from, what you're working on today, and it's like, I'm in Chicago and it's 3:30 in the morning, and you're like, okay, how do you look how are you not wearing pajamas? So yeah, we still get people that join from India and America and like expats as well. So and yeah, lots of people in Europe and like expats in Europe as well, which is really nice. And some of our co-working hosts, Stephanie's based in Italy, and yeah, people are based in Spain and France. So but yeah, we're trying to niche. I'm pro niche.
Oh, very much the same. But I think certainly in terms of geographical location, you do seem people will really niche down on their topic, but the idea of just limiting themselves, if they're outside of the US, just limiting themselves to their home country is perhaps that a little too daunting a step, because we'll just put on an earlier call, or we'll just cater to other time zones. But it is funny you're mentioning that, because our audience is predominantly US based, but we have a good, strong UK member base as well. So when we've done live calls, trying to cater towards time zones around the world is just impossible. But anytime we do earlier calls for our UK and European contingent, it's still mostly people from the US, and yes, it's crazy o'clock in the morning. It's kind of, but I'm not sure I would get up at this time in the morning, and this is my place. Like, kudos to you.
I think the other reason is because we are a print publication, I guess, first and foremost. We only sell direct because it's part of this membership. So we've never gone down like the newsstand. We did have a couple of indie kind of mag shops that we used to go in, and we do supply some magazines to them, really to support the indie mag industry. Not, we don't, make money off that. It's just kind of, and it is cool to see, sometimes I'm walking through Farringdon and I look in Mag Culture and see the magazine in the shop, and it's worth it just to see it there. It's nice. But I think because we're shipping directly, if we were to really look to go global, we would have to look at kind of distributors in different countries. And never say never, but that's like that would be at least a 5-year plan for me in reality, in terms of our priorities. And we do ship, and it I think it's, I can't remember off the top of my head, $8.95 to Europe and $10.95 or $12.95 to the States and the rest of the world. But and obviously we've got the digital magazine, which is is a really huge part of our business. And so yeah, that is accessible to anyone in the world. And I absolutely never say never. Of course, that would allow us to scale, but UK focused.
Because the extra logistics in that, quality control again, because having read the magazine and like from a tactile point of view, it's just such good high quality to hold. And yeah, the idea of
and the smell, everyone talks about the smell. Maybe we can, I don't know. We can't virtually give people the smell of it, can we?
Yeah, to kind of do
It does have that. I mean, again, I think the publishing industry, because I'm not from the publishing industry, kind of take the mick out of the, do you know, when you get a digital version of a magazine and it makes that page flick.
Yeah.
And I really like that, but they're all a bit like, ugh. But yeah,
Hey,
you do get the noise. You just don't get the smell. We'll have to work out a way to do it, maybe with AI.
Oh, Freelancer magazine scented candles. It's the smell of your favorite issue of Freelancer magazine.
We'd still have to ship them though, wouldn't we?
True.
But I still like. I mean, mate, we've got our 20th anniversary edition coming up, and I need some. At the moment, the theme is a very special edition, and I've got some really nice ideas actually. But I think the candle might have to go in the mix.
Yeah.
I'm writing it down, Mike.
Yeah,
I'm writing it down.
Yeah, you can have that one. So in addition
you can get one, I'll give you one for free.
Definitely. Now, obviously, in addition to the magazine and the online community side, and now scented candles, I know you also offer kind of courses on topics such as LinkedIn and content creation, developing newsletters, and so on. Are they integrated in any way with the membership? Are they totally separate? Are they upsells? Do members get a little sweetener on them? How do the online courses fit in with your overall ecosystem of Freelancer magazine?
They are essentially standalone. So the magazine actually came about. The courses actually came before the magazine, and the magazine came about. I was making online marketing courses for freelancers, and I thought, I need to find how do I market these? I'm a marketer, so and I was like, do I start a podcast? Like, how do I kind of create this really helpful content for freelancers and position myself as an expert in kind of marketing for freelancers? And I was like, should I do a blog? Should I do another newsletter? And that was when the light bulb moment came that there wasn't a magazine for freelancers. And, I kind of thought, I know how I'll get people to pay attention to the content. A blog or a newsletter, is not going to stand out maybe in people's, inboxes. I'll post it to them. And actually then the magazine became an idea in itself. And I kind of, the courses took a bit of a back seat because I wanted the magazine, not to feel like this promotional tool for the courses. I thought actually the idea was kind of bigger than that, and I wanted the magazine to stand alone. After a couple of years, we rebranded the courses Freelance Magazine Marketing School. And in all honesty, the journey, I guess, with that and how we only open the flagship courses like once a year for enrollment. So there's LinkedIn for Humans, Grow Your Own Newsletter, and a course, of course, which is a course about how to make your first online course.
Yeah.
Of course. So yeah, they're standalone and they're marketed to the community and they're branded the same. But at the moment, we have a really good referral program, but members kind of don't get a discount on those courses at the moment. And it's an ongoing process, I guess, to kind of build marketing plans around that. I'm actually planning, the big idea for the summer is in order to grow our database. So I think that, we look after our members really well and we convert people on our newsletter to members quite well because, we have, our offering, I think, is good value. And we offer, with the directory, with the co-working, with the magazine, we get quite good conversion. We get really good word of mouth. So one thing I want to do is bring in a referral program because we don't have an official referral program for the magazine at the moment. And then the other thing I want to do is build. There's already 2 mini courses, but I'm going to build 6 in total, which will be around which stage of your freelance journey you're at. There'll then be a little quiz, and if you complete the quiz, find out what stage you're at, you'll get one of these mini courses for free. So this is the way I kind of want to build the marketing school side of it, but also grow the database, because I think, as you can probably tell with the candle idea, it's so hard not to just go into creator mode and to go into like, what else can we give our members? What else can we give our members? And actually take your foot off the gas in terms of the growing the newsletter database and getting out to new people. So I keep promising myself that is the priority. And I think that was I love making the courses, I really do. And I love the fact that they're like on demand, not just for me, but for other people. Like they're self-paced and they get really, really good reviews. And lots of people that have done the course have now launched their own courses, and that's just so cool to see. And people have done LinkedIn for Humans now, kind of have a really big LinkedIn presence. And I love to see that. So I thought the most natural way for me to grow the newsletter database was to make 6 more courses. Got to get the creation side of it in.
Yeah, definitely. And I am curious as well, obviously talking about that, growing the list, growing the database and the reach. As a marketer, do you feel like you are marketing this more like an online product or more like a magazine, or just as its own kind of thing? What are the main ways that you're actually attracting subscribers?
Gosh, so that's a really interesting question. Having never not had a publishing background, and actually I always kind of say, because I was a marketer, I never really had imposter syndrome about the publishing side of it, because I suppose I didn't know what I didn't know. I always had imposter syndrome, or always felt like I always do feel like I could be doing the marketing better. I think it's like there's so many plates to spin, and you have to prioritize the operational side of it, because you have to make a magazine. And that's also almost the easier side to prioritize, because there's deadlines and there's tasks that have to be completed. And marketing, you can kind of get in your own head and go on forever. I'd say probably more like an online membership, because I guess, like I say, we haven't really gone down this traditional publishing route of newsstand and things like that. So it was always a priority of mine that we would kind of own the community, for want of a better word. And I don't mean, from a business perspective, I thought that was a smarter thing to do, but also just like from a perspective of growing a community. We can't really grow a community and connect them to each other if they're coming to Freelancer magazine through lots of different ways, like lots of different distributors and lots of different third parties. So I'd say it does run more like an online membership, and absolutely one of the main ways that we market it is via LinkedIn, and via my personal LinkedIn is way more powerful than our company page LinkedIn. I think we do have, approaching 9,000 members, 9,000 followers on our company page, and I think I've got about 16,000. But just that kind of, people want to see a person. So, and that's been quite a balancing act for me as well, I think, is it's really nice to have a different brand and a different product, and the product and the face of what the product isn't me. And that was always quite important to me, that I kind of wanted to be separate from it. But I think I've probably leaned back too much at some points. And now it's nice to kind of embrace, being the person, being the face of it, but actually still having it all running as a separate entity. Like, it's nice to have that balance, I think.
To show up as the founder and not the product itself.
For sure, yeah.
So, aside from the very special edition that's coming up, what's next for Freelancer magazine? Both the magazine, the online. Is there anything big in the pipelines? Anything you're looking to incorporate into the membership strategy that you can talk about, of course? Or
Oh
do you
my!
think you've landed on the formula you're gonna kind of stick
I
with?
keep thinking we have, and then so I've got an idea which I think I'm going to run with, but it's literally come over, and in true me style, I will announce it on this podcast, because
Oh, I like that.
when I came up with the idea for the magazine, I was on the Freelance Heroes, which isn't a community anymore, but used to be a huge freelance community. I was on the Freelance Heroes community podcast the day after I came up with the idea for the magazine, and I thought, sod it, I'm just going to talk about it. And so I will follow in, the footsteps that I've always set for myself. And, I don't believe in kind of keeping things a secret. So, big idea for next year is to launch a virtual event, which is going to be called, I think, trademarks to be checked, Freelancer Masterclass Live.
Okay.
And the idea is to have, it's not exactly going to be a summit, but it's going to be interactive workshops by, some of the real kind of expert freelancers, people that are featured in Freelancer magazine over the years. And it's just going to be a really nice way, I think, for people to learn how other freelancers are working, how to set up a freelance business if you want to set up one, how, if you want to get your onboarding process or your pricing or your LinkedIn or your personal branding or your PR. So yeah, at the moment planning, in the very, very early stages of planning this kind of big virtual, probably 2-day event.
Love it.
Yeah, so that will be, and then I think it will be ticketed, it will be discounted to members, and then other people can join as well. And I think it would also be a really nice way to get uni students and also people that might be thinking of going into freelancing or leaving employment to go to freelancing, but also people that I have been freelancing for nearly 15 years and probably could do with a bit of help with my onboarding process. So it's never too late to learn.
No, I love that. And of course, because you've followed that pattern of announcing it on a podcast, it's
going to work.
Go fantastically well now. Of course it is. Love that.
Watch this space.
Yeah, we will absolutely be watching that space. If people want to connect with you and check out Freelancer magazine for themselves, where can they find you? Where should they go?
Yeah. So it's freelancermagazine.co.uk. And yeah, come find me, come say hi on LinkedIn. I'm Sophie Cross on LinkedIn. I think I'm /Soph Cross, but you'll find me.
Perfect. And we'll pop all those links onto the show notes as well. Sophie, thanks so much for coming on. Again, it's the model is a one that just instantly fascinated me. And I think having held that magazine and kind of looked at like this is just on its own, like just such a great quality product. But then the backing of what sounds like a fantastic membership community and the way that they work in sync, it's something that I've really enjoyed geeking out a bit about. And I really appreciate you sharing the story and giving that inside look at what you're doing with Freelancer Magazine and all the online side and your upcoming summit.
Thank you so much, Mike. It's been an honor to be asked to be on this, and I'm just about to go and look into candle manufacturers.
Perfect. Oh, and I'm definitely wanting one of those. All right. Cheers, Sophie. Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks once again to Sophie for coming on the show and opening up about the hybrid model that Freelancer Magazine uses. I found it fascinating. I love seeing memberships that don't necessarily fit the norms of the type of online memberships we work with every single day. And hopefully you got a lot of value from exploring how they make that model work for them. That is it for this week. Thanks so much for joining me. I do hope that you've got a lot of value from the show. If you have and you're not subscribed, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button in your podcast app. And if you enjoyed today's episode, if you're a long-term listener or a new one, I would love your feedback. If you have 30 seconds or a minute to leave just a few kind words about how the show's helped you, any thoughts that you have, ideally with a nice shiny 5 stars, I'm just saying, then that would be so appreciated. I do read each and every review personally, and if you leave a review, hit me up on social media at Membership Geeks to let me know that you've done that so I can thank you personally. That is it from me. I'll be back again very soon with another episode of the Membership Geeks podcast. Bye for now. If you enjoyed this week's episode of the Membership Geeks podcast, we invite you to check out membershipacademy.com. Membership Academy is the original membership about memberships, and it's the essential resource for anyone at any stage of starting, growing, and running a successful online membership business. Whether you're still trying to figure out what your idea is going to be and you need some help making it a reality, or whether your website is already up and running and you're looking for ways to grow and attract new members, then Membership Academy can help you to get to the next level. Not only do you get access to our step-by-step membership roadmap, our extensive training library, and exclusive member-only discount and tools, you'll also become part of our supportive, active community of membership owners that will help you along the way in your journey with feedback, encouragement, and advice. All of this and more make Membership Academy the #1 place to be for anyone looking to start, manage, and grow a successful membership business. Check it out and join the community at membershipacademy.com.